Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? I'm here with Ben from the awesome band Night Windows. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Hey, Shane. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. There's so much. You've been making music for quite a while now. You've thrown out hundreds upon hundreds of songs into the universe. So what led you to, this whole iteration of Night Windows and where we currently stand?
I guess probably just being in love with, or like obsessed with songwriting, and also trying to find a way to make enough money to survive. So I think probably this version of Night Windows has come about in like the subject matter and everything, because I've always had a day job, and it's like it's like passion that keeps it, so that I still find time to work on songwriting and to get the guys together and record. And yeah, to me, it's like I don't think I'd be where I am now if wasn't for the fact that it's always been like a major effort to still do this. So I mean, it's something I love. Yeah, definitely a long-winded version, or like a long-winded answer, but I hope it makes sense. Where it's like, yeah, it's just something that I still feel the need to do. So,
do you find it easier to have, let's say, your everyday voice heard through your songwriting, as opposed to, just constantly going through the daily grind of what you have to do at a day job?
I would say yes, because it gives you the chance to lay your thoughts out there, like really edit it. I mean, lyric wise, and then you have the statement there, and it's not really like a conversation piece. It's like, here's what I'm saying. I mean, it's definitely open to interpretation, but yeah, I mean, definitely easier to express myself and kind of express myself in an area and in a way where it's like it's just me writing these thoughts or thinking these thoughts or kind of capturing my view of life without maybe considering what other people are going to think. Like where it's like if you're at a day job, you kind of have to consider the whole room when you're trying to make a point. And yeah, so I think it's definitely easier to. There's less distractions when you're just kind of writing by yourself.
When it comes to your writing, I mean, you have, to me, some very uh, poetic and maybe introspective songs that are out there. Is it kind of your thought process when going into writing new music that you take time to really find whatever subject you're going to write about, whether it's introspective or writing a poem or doing anything of that nature? Do you sit down and take the time and flush things out to make sure it's exactly, where your thought process was at that time for writing whichever song it may be?
I think it's probably it changes as time goes, and certain songs I'll be more direct or purposeful. Um, and I've definitely over the years spent more time crafting and editing lyrics. Where when I was younger, I had this just kind of like hit record and just like make it up, or just like write in a linear fashion where whatever comes out is kind of like the song. But I've given myself more time uh, or permission to like not churn things out as fast as I used to, and definitely have gotten a lot more experience with kind of like chopping or editing or things like that with I guess lyrics and song structures. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of um, because it's like sometimes you are being very forward, or if I'm writing, it's like, okay, I'm going to write a song about this. But honestly, this last album, it was more like maybe an initial idea or a spark, and then some of the songs I might have just sat down with like lines that I've written, just like one-off lines, maybe something that pops into your head on the way to work. Um, and then I try to piece it all together, like thread, like what lines make sense with this, and then before you know it, the song kind of developed a theme. So it was more of like the song kind of showed itself to me. I feel like that kind of sounds cheesy, but it's one of those things where I think it's probably something that keeps me addicted to songwriting. That like I still don't have it mastered. It's like each one's a puzzle, and it's like you're not really sure, but I do feel like for myself, I know when it's time to stop working on it, and then that's pretty much when I'll call it complete.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a songwriter, that's a hard thing to, uh, you know, bring yourself to do when you like say, "Okay, it's done." I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many times where people dive into things and as I usually put it, as like a painter sometimes adds too much paint to his painting and now it's ruined.
Hmm.
Same thing with songwriting, where if you don't know when to stop, you can really fucking oversalt it and ruin it.
True. True. Yeah, there's definitely times where in this last album was a little more collaborative than anything I've done recently, like in the past 5 to 10 years, um, where some of these songs were written with myself and the drummer, my friend Tad. We would sit down and I would show him a song, and he would say, "Well, this is definitely the chorus, and you need to repeat it." Like, because I got out of the habit of repeating lyrics with the previous release, and he's kind of got that feeling or that knack for knowing when what needs to be repeated or like what needs to be cut out. So between working with him before we started recording and then working during recording with him and Adam, the bass player, um, yeah, definitely it's becoming more collaborative, which is really fun. and it
Did you
definitely helps it grow too. So
yeah, did you have, as you said previously, that it wasn't something you were doing. Did it at first feel kind of like, uh, did you have like any pushback from someone saying, hey, you need to change this, as opposed to you doing everything yourself and you already being your own, you know, every songwriter is their own worst critic, but like now having someone come in and say, hey, I think you should really do this. Was it hard for you to change your mentality at that moment? I mean, I can tell it changed and it's worked out great, but like right when it starts happening, I mean, what kind of feeling did you get from that?
well, I think definitely being in bands since I was like 16 or 15. I've had experiences before where you're kind of working in a more collaborative space, and I've definitely had experiences where you have people you really trust telling you things that you really don't want to hear, but that you need to hear. So I've definitely
Yeah.
found the value in like swallowing those kind of hard to swallow pills or whatever you call them. So I mean, definitely when I first started experiencing that kind of pushback, you get defensive and then you start wondering like, oh man, like, well, what about this song and what about this song? And then before you know it, you're like burning people out by like overexposing them, and then also kind of putting that pressure on them to like to deem something worthy when it's like it's something I've over the years I've learned how to balance out like when to when to defend an idea that I have and when not to. Um, like definitely for this last album, I know the only thing that I really pushed back on as far as like what everyone in the band wanted was the song "Just Another Day." It's like the last. If you have the record, it's the last song on the first side, and it's kind of like a breather from the rest of the record. And it is different. Like it doesn't. It's not. It sounds a little bit different. It was recorded in a different room in my house, but I had like a really strong connection to it, and I felt like it needed to be there. So I kept pushing back, but then I ultimately my goal for this last record was that everything that happened and everything that was presented, artwork, everything, I wanted buy-in from everybody that was involved with the project, like 100%. So if if we were going to cut the song, I was just going to release it as a single or maybe as like a B-sides type thing. But yeah, it's it's definitely interesting trying to learn how to navigate those kind of dynamic situations.
Well, I listen, from listening to the album as many times as I have already. I mean, I think it turned out fantastic. So you should be very proud of what you created, and literally taking, a little bit of the input of others and helping you create what, would become the album. It takes a big person to do that. And listen, it turned into magic. So it's a great job.
Thanks. Yeah, that's always my goal. It's like, especially if you get the other guys buying in and they're writing their parts and they're helping you with your parts, or like, I mean, because initially this album it was 23 songs, and it was going to be like 74 minutes, and you know, one guy is like, yes, let's do this. The other guy's like, no, hell no, we're not doing this. So then we land at 13 tracks ultimately. Um, but it's definitely, yeah. I mean, there's like so much. I feel like it's so important to have people that you're working with that you care about and that you love and that you trust. Um, yeah, I feel super lucky to be making music with those guys.
It's awesome. When in your life did music kind of grab you and take a hold, and like, you have like kind of a musical memory that there was a moment as a child that you heard something that just made your eyes and ears piqued the interest and say, what is this? I need to learn what this is going on right now.
Mm. I think some of my earliest memories of music that I was really excited about. Listened to like a lot of oldies 98, and like back then they were playing 50s, 60s, and maybe some 70s. I think probably 70s. Now they're playing like Nirvana, and I'm like, what what is happening here? Yeah, it
Yep.
doesn't really feel good, but I'm like, well, yeah, I am getting a little bit older. So, but yeah, like the Beach Boys. Um, I wasn't actually like for a while there growing up. We were really only like we weren't supposed to listen to any secular music in my family, and then it got to a point where they're like, okay, you can listen to Oldies 98, and like before you know it, I just started getting into like everything. Um, Especially once like um, pretty much like music piracy, where you could download from Kazaa or LimeWire, and you're making all these mixtapes. And yeah, that was when I really started getting into some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, Beach Boys, I always loved singing along. And then we had a piano in the house. Like my older sister played piano, and my brother played guitar. So I eventually learned piano by ear, um, and I would just kind of hear songs. Like I definitely, if you're talking about like one specific moment, I do remember hearing "Let It Be," and then my older brother was asking me, he's like, "Can you play this?" And then I just like sat down on the piano and played it. Um, so I mean, that was like exciting, and I think I just kind of kept chasing that feeling where you're getting you're just kind of like losing track of time and just feeling like you're exactly where where you should be in the world or in whatever the universe, if you want to zoom out. But yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
probably be it. Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of were running a little parallel early life together. I mean, for me, my first thing, everybody's heard as many of these shows as they may have would know that my first musical experience that made me want to learn more was hearing the Beach Boys on. For
Oh,
me, it was
awesome.
CBS 101 FM, Cousin Brucey out of New York City, and the first song I ever sang in front of a crowd was "Let It Be."
Oh, cool. That's wild.
Yeah,
Man,
it's pretty crazy.
that is pretty neat. Yeah, man.
So when you started to find, the Kazas and the LimeWires and Napsters and all that, where did you kind of find yourself leaning towards and finding new music, and what was that new music exploration like for you?
It's a good question. I think it kind of happened around the same time that a friend of mine from high school. Well, yeah, I guess if I could back up a little, before high school, I got really heavily into Weezer Blue, which I guess kind of follows that Beach Boys kind of trend.
Yes.
Um, but I remember really just like being blown away by that album and the fact that you could listen to the whole thing, where it was like other albums, like if you were risking like purchasing a CD for a single, like for the single that's on the radio, you might end up with garbage. And I did that a few times, and then when I found the Blue album, I was just like, oh my god, it's possible to have an album with all good songs. Um, so that was where I was, and then from there, kind of went into um, what actually took like a little detour into like now that I'm remembering, like Christian rock stuff, like POD and like what else? Yeah, because I was still kind of involved in like going to like youth group and stuff.
Yeah. Like Anne
But I didn't
Berlin and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't spend too long in there. I mean, I definitely still stuck with like Sunny Day Real Estate and Further Since Forever, Page of the Line, like those kind of bands that were in that Tooth and Nail uh, era. But yeah, I really started getting into like the Hopeless Records compilations that would come out. I don't know if
Hmm.
you're familiar with those, but it was like Hopelessly
I'm
Devoted to You
very.
volumes, maybe. Yeah, like I think volume two is the one that I my friend got me. And then I just kind of like fell in love with like the whole punk and ska um, scene. And I mean, we were making like we went from we were making kind of rock music in the garage, like me and my one buddy. And then from there it was like, okay, yeah, let's speed everything up. we started. We were in like what we thought was like a different sounding band back then. But honestly, when I listen back, it's like, okay, this track we were trying to sound like Rufio. This track we were trying to sound like Brand New. This one saves the day, and it's like, yeah. But I mean that's kind of where I'm coming from. like early influence style or early influences.
And when you were making music with your friend, when you started to play music and everything, I mean, I know as a kid, it's very important when you start playing music to rush out and find like-minded people and create music. But even more important than that is coming up with the design logo of the name of your very first band. Do you remember what that name
Mm,
was?
I do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's definitely not a name that you could use now. Um, yeah, I don't even know if I can say it. Oh man. Um, there was actually a band before that, that other band name where it was like blue. We were calling ourselves like Blue Leaf Clover or something. It was like, oh, BLC, this is cool. Um, yeah, but then um, after that, it was the band name that I'll leave out, out of this interview, just because like I know that.
Okay,
Yeah, can't say the word.
you, you don't,
It's
yeah, you
2024
don't want to
now.
get canceled. That's,
It's not
yeah,
like a bad word. It's
you can
just
tell
like,
me after we're
yeah.
done.
But yeah, then we did like a band name Past Having Doubt, and that was like our punk emo band. I think back then we were like, oh, we're not punk or we're not emo. We're making something new. But like, yeah, definitely like heavily influenced by Rupio and Saves the Day, those types of bands. Take Back Sunday.
When did you first perform in front of strangers in a band format?
That would be, um, I think it was my freshman year in high school. If you don't count like having friends over in the basement.
I don't
Um,
count that.
yeah. So it was actually a battle of the bands for the a neighboring uh, a neighboring town's high school, and we played we played like kind of rock style music. This was before I really started getting heavier into punk, and we had a, we played our version of "Baby Got Back." Like it almost made it so that we won. I think we got like second place, and like since then I've never gotten. I mean, I haven't played a battle of the bands in a long time, but we bands that I play in generally don't do well at battle of the bands. But doing "Baby Got Back" was like a good idea, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's your formula then. That if you do battle the band, you have to play that song.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find where Nick is. He took over lead vocals for that one, which was great because I didn't want to do that. It's like we need someone with like more charisma or whatever.
Now, I mean, doing sticking on a performance level here, other than that, is there a performance throughout your career so far that, for better or worse, like just stands out and occupies a place in your brain that'll just never go away?
Hmm. Well, I'm thinking. I mean, we just played a show in Wilmington, August 30th, and that one felt really special. Like for whatever reason, it was probably our longest show that we've played um, in this current lineup, and it just felt like there was a lot of friends and family in the crowd, and it's something about it. I don't know, like it's just like being able to stretch our legs a little bit more, and where before it was like we're playing the songs the way they sound on the record, and that's it. And then as we've played together longer and longer, like I think Adam, Tad, and myself have played since 2018 together now. 20 yeah 2018 I think because we were playing together in Night Windows and also in Pilkington at that time. But we're playing so much together now, and we have all the songs that we'd like to play. But now, our songs that we liked on the records that we wouldn't play live because they were more stripped down. So now it's like we're making band versions of a lot of these songs, and sometimes there's like longer sections and like I don't want to say it, but like kind of jammy sections. I I've never been a big into jamming, but there's like I think I got pretty heavy into like Yola Tango and just other bands that know how like know when to really repeat a part, and just like that show felt like it was like the best version of that of any band that I played in. Like as far as the feel goes, and just like really being present, and yeah, it was great. I mean, that one, I feel like that's kind of a cheating maybe by saying that, oh, pretty much the last show I played is sticking out to me.
Listen,
But Yeah.
It's your interview. It's not cheating. You're allowed to give the answers that you want.
Yeah.
You know, I usually look for the bad ones. Like I like hearing the bad stories, but that's just because everybody loves hearing about other people's misery, possibly.
Oh,
But
I do have a bad one I could bring up. And
yeah,
also I feel like I should set the record straight. I'm not calling Yellow Tango a jam band. They do play some really long songs. Because I don't think yeah. When I think jam band, it's like whatever, like Fish or something. But
yeah, it's
yeah,
Fish or
as far
Grateful
as
Dead, which I
yeah.
had a conversation the other night about that, where all I said, I go, yeah, it's just 8 guys on stage playing a different song.
Don't you love it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
yeah, it takes a certain mental state for that. Um, but yeah, as far as bad
Yeah,
ones, one popped into my mind that was really funny. This was in the band I was in before Night Windows. It was also another side project that turned into a band. I tend to do that. Um, his band was called A Little Affair, and we were playing a lot like around our college years. So we're playing these different kind of like college events, and one that we were playing was like a wine tasting, and it was like this really kind of like ritzy, fancy type place, and we're playing full band, and like we're playing as quiet as possible, and this one woman just keeps like appearing in different places throughout the room, and she's just like waving her like pushing her hands down like telling us like turn it down, and we're already playing as like quiet as possible, and you're just kind of looking around the room, and they have us up on this stage. It's like a really small room, small stage. We're like towering above all these people who are just drinking these little like barbecue sauce containers sized wine samples. Like I don't know what else to call it, but like when they bring you sauce at a restaurant, like they were drinking
yeah,
wine out of those things, and it was just like, oh man,
ramekins.
that one. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Oh, nice. It sounds like a metal band or something. Um, yeah, but that's a funny one that sticks out to me where it's just like, wow, we cannot play any quieter, and wow, this is just really not going over well, but we just have to keep going. I'm sure anyone who's played has had those kind of experiences.
Yeah. So no more wine tastings for you.
No, no, definitely not.
How about, do you remember the first concert you ever saw? And then maybe if it's different, the first concert you ever got to pick to go to?
Let's see. I think it was one and the same. So it was either I think it was like if you don't count the local shows that we were playing and stuff, we saw me and a couple friends, and actually my wife. Like we've been together since 15, so um, or since we were 15 back in '03, 2003. We went and saw. It was kind of an odd lineup. It was Dashboard, Confessional, Brand New, and MXPX. So I think that was the first one. It was either that or like right pretty close to the same time we saw Saves the Day, Granddaddy, Fire Theft, which was kind of an interesting lineup. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I'd
one of
say
those.
both of
Yeah,
those were interesting lineups.
yeah, yeah. It's wild. Like you had Chris Grob up there singing like the acoustic tunes, and then by the time MXPX is playing, they're like throwing the bass as high into the air as possible and spinning it around and stuff. So a little bit of variety on those shows.
Yeah, well, I think it's cool that you get to say that you saw the fire theft. Like that.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Not many people get to say that.
I didn't even. Yeah, and it's rough because like I didn't even know who they were. I saw like I didn't get how amazing it was to be seeing that. But in retrospect,
Yeah,
I'm like, man, that was pretty awesome, and it had to be awesome for
yeah,
Saves the Day. Like,
absolutely. And for those that are listening that don't know who the Fire Theft are, it's Nate Mendel, it's Jeremy Enick, and William Goldsmith, all original members of Sunny Day Real Estate. But when Nate came back to do a little something, they called themselves the Fire Theft, and it was a nice little treat for those who, like Ben here, had an opportunity to see them.
mhm.
So that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that's a good record that they put out. I feel like every now and then I'll head back to it, and I always
Yeah,
find something
it's
new.
underrated, and I don't think
It really
people
is.
remember it. Yeah, I don't think people will remember it. That's the problem with things like that. Like that was a real quick offshoot, and it was an awesome record. I say to me, it's like one of the better Sunny Day Real Estate albums that isn't called Sunny Day. So
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
now, once you're starting to get up, go to shows in your teen years and anything, was there like a show experience that, I mean, we just named the one, but you didn't know really what the captivity of the moment that you should have had with the fire theft. But is there one that like a show that you've been to that the entire time you got to see it, you were like, I can't believe I'm seeing this?
Hmm. I need to think about this one because I've I'm trying to think if because I've had like I've been lucky enough to see like a lot of bands play in small venues in Philly before they really kind of blow up. Those are always really cool experiences, getting like the super intimate show. Um, but then like you get like some of the bigger venues, if you actually like, I think somehow they had extra seats up front at one of the bigger venues and like outdoor venue, like I think it was at the Mann Center in Philly. Um, Getting to see like Boy Genius or like the one time we saw Courtney Barnett in the National, like just getting to see those huge shows up close is always just like ridiculous. Like seeing it from the lawn is way different. I usually don't go to those shows because I usually don't want to pay more than the lawn. And the lawn's like, let's just get drunk and watch this. But if I can think about, um, I don't know, a couple are come to mind. Like definitely when American football got back together, I saw them at Union Transfer in Philly, and it was amazing. Like I think it was, I think we might have seen them in between LP2 and LP3, so they were already kind of getting into some of the newer stuff, and something about the way that they had the lights synced up with the music, and I don't know, that felt really lucky to see. But I mean, and now they're back kind of touring full time. And I guess the same would go for like a lot of the bands that have kind of reunited, but American football sticks out. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty great to see them.
that's awesome. American football is one of those. I got to see them in their heyday, and I saw them a bunch of times, and I always try to tamper people's expectations when they go to see American football because I probably saw them 5 times, and I had 5 totally different experiences.
Mhm.
When I saw them, because it was just like, I mean, I don't know what was going on with Kinsella at the time. It was just like, it was like one show would be great, the next show would be like the biggest debacle I've ever seen in my entire life. And then the next show was just like, it wasn't great. And then the next show was amazing. And I'm like, fuck, like I just never have. And I'm going to see, they're playing Best Friends Forever Fest, which I'll be out in Vegas for next week.
Oh
And
man,
like,
nice.
and it's like, I'm excited to see everybody. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to see American football, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, well, let's see what happens. It's like one of those bands for me that I'm like, I really don't know what's going to happen when I see it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely it can be an expensive miss if if they don't play well. But I mean, yeah, I've seen. I guess I've seen him play the Owen stuff like solo a couple times, and that's always a treat because he's like super just
Yeah,
off the cuff.
I've seen him do Owen a bunch. Yeah, what's really cool is, I mean, Cap and Jazz are reuniting for Best Friends Forever Fest. So it's like I think
Oh
Cap and
yeah, I saw
Jazz
that.
are playing at like, yeah, like 4:30, and then American football is going on at 6:30. So I'm like,
Wow,
wow, it's going to be quite a moment for Mr. Goodsell.
that is that's such a crazy lineup that they put together for that fest.
Yeah, it's kind of why I had to go.
I was really like, I mean, I was like looking at tickets, and I was like, okay, starting to pitch the prices and the timeline, and it just didn't work out this year. But that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was one of those things too where it was I was lucky enough to have someone say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna give you love to see you out here. Give you some tickets." It was very nice. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I got 2 VIP tickets that are actually going to cost me with hotel and airfare $3,500 or something. You know,
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, it's great, but at the same time, it's like, fuck, man, now I got to get a hotel over the weekend in Vegas. Like, you know, we
Oh,
get there
man.
Thursday night. Thursday night's like $28 in the hotel. Friday night's $500, and like
Oh
Saturday
my
it's five.
God.
It's like crazy how they do that. But yeah,
Wow.
it's but listen, the way I break it down is I just break it down per band, how much I paid to see them. I'm like, listen, all the bands that are there, even the newer bands, like I'm really excited to see, you know, Fiddlehead, Mannequin Pussy, all those types of
Oh, yeah.
bands too that are starting to pop. Like I'm excited to see those too. So it'll be great no matter what.
Yeah, Vegas is a trip for sure.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question now, which is usually the question that everybody finds the hardest when I ask it, but I think it's a good, um, it's one of my favorite questions because I think it reads into who you think you are as an artist as opposed to what sometimes I may, you know, play from somebody. But if you only had a couple minutes to explain someone what type of music you create through one of your songs, what song of yours would you play for them?
Mm. I think I would, oh man, I would definitely pick something from the new record. Um, there's a couple that really, oh man, this is a tough one because I'm thinking like, I don't
Okay, so
know.
I have 2 of them that I've played for people, so that's why I like to see if, you know, we're
Let
along
me
the
see then.
same lines.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think like, and this would be a song that I would show to somebody to, that would best describe who I am as a person or who,
Would best describe who you are as a band, as Night Windows, like a Night Windows song of yours that you're gonna play for them and say, yeah, this best describes the music that I create with this
Mm.
band.
Oh, okay. In that case, I think I would have to say Broken Glass.
In that last grocery store in town, turn off its automatic doors. The world revolved around departure times. You took the bus, she packed her things. Count broken bottles, she pulled away from the plateau that was her day to So let us raise a monument, or at the very least a toast. Here's to the bed you made out on the couch. I was just a broken kid back then, always apologizing for things I never did. Was skill baked in or learned along the way. Some need a place to fit in, others a place to hide. Some need a God on their side, others are just fine. Some have hunger pains, I'm sure they're barely scraping by. Others have everything they could ever dream of. A hand to hold when all you really want is to let go. Let go. Let go. Let
That's like the sound or the song that kind of is like the middle of the road and kind of it's got like it's short enough and simple enough lyrics where it kind of shows where we are as far as like our disposition, and it's like pretty middle of the road instrumentation wise. And yeah, I'd be curious to hear the two that you were referencing.
One of them is Someone Else's Apartment.
Oh, nice.
That's just like and again, like when it comes to music discovery and hearing songs for the first time, I always kind of pick the song that I find myself going back to and
Mhm.
wanting to hear. Like, wait a minute, what was that song? So like I'll listen to an entire album and then I'll like go back and be like, wait, what was that song that fucking kind of touched me? And like the good thing about nowadays is, you know, especially if you're streaming something, as soon as a song comes on and it hits me, I just take the screenshot real quick on my phone. So I know when I get done with the
Oh,
album,
yeah.
okay, I got to go back to that song. And I mean, that's, you know, song for me. And the first track off of In Memory, your new album, not the only one. It was just like, I think it was like the perfect lead in to the album. Like it made me basically stay for the whole thing, which I think is a
That's
lost.
awesome.
It's like a lost art when putting together an album nowadays, because everybody plays a singles game, and then when they're done, there's usually nowadays it's just an EP, but it's like just in the order that the singles were released, so you're not getting like a structured full set album, right? Like how it's supposed to be.
True.
And so like a lead in that, as soon as you hear the first song, now I have to stay for the whole thing. And I think not the only one was just a perfect lead in to keep me there for the entire album.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I mean, that was another one where I was thinking that one was on my mind. There was like four from the new album that I had on my mind. Um, but it's funny that was originally supposed to be the fourth song, and um, Tad, the drummer, he said you've got to put this one first. So, because at first I was going to have Annapolis Road be the first tune, but he was like, no, this one's going to hook people in. So I'm happy to hear that it worked.
Well, you can tell Tad it fucking worked for me. So
That's great.
in your life, do you have a band that, you know, you constantly turn to when you don't know what to listen to? Rolling Stone describes it your favorite band. I don't. It's a band that never lets you down, that you just always love and you love listening to it. And if you can't find something to listen to, you know, if you listen to them, it's not going to let you down.
Mm. I just had four come to mind, but I'll try
You
to
can
pick.
go all four. You can go all
Yeah.
four. If all four came to mind, I'd love to hear them all.
Okay. Um, okay. So definitely Beach House. Well, now I'm blanking. Well, Beach House, Yola Tango, um, Bon Iver. Man, there's like, and then I guess it'd be like I was really heavy into the Frank Ocean album Blonde for a long time. Like that's an album I can just listen to that one over and over again. Um, but yeah, I think if I had to pick one, it's probably Beach House, where it's like you can just throw that on, and it's got what something I would really like to try to work towards at some point in my artistic life. It's like Beach House has this thing, and I think Yellow Tango, I think a lot of these other bands I mentioned have it, where their songs, like really good songs, that can either fade into the background or you can listen to like intently. Like it somehow they have, I don't know if it's the way they produce it or mix it, but it's one of those things where you can like I can find myself working to it, or I can like hang out to it. But if I throw on like a Bright Eyes record, I'm not gonna be able to work because I'm gonna be listening. maybe it's the lyrics, maybe it's the vocal mixing or something. But Beach House has that thing though where it's like, oh, underneath all these like lush layers of beautiful sound, it's like there's actually like really good songs underneath this. And yeah, that's why I feel like they never let me down. I can throw anything on from them. How about you?
For me, it's the Posies or Face to Face. Like
Oh, nice.
those are my big two that anyone ever asks. Those are they've just played such a huge role in my entire life musically. I mean, two completely different bands, but it's just something that absolutely is. I don't know what to listen to. I know I can grab any Face to Face record, anything ever recorded by the Posies, and I'm fine. Like I'm good to go.
That's pretty sweet. I've never actually like went and listened to the Posies. What album would you recommend?
For the average listener who's never listened to it really before, um, and this is just kind of like how I picked a song for you, I'll pick the album for them. That would
Mhm.
just garner more. It just garners your ears better. I would say is "Frosting on the Beater." That's
Okay.
probably one of their biggest ones when they were on Geffen, but like that's the one that pretty much everybody knows about. But then I would say after you listen to that, you can go and listen to the very first thing they ever recorded, John and Ken, and the album is called Failure, and you can hear the distinct like, wow, this really changed, and they kind of started to hone their skill.
Mm,
Yeah, that Frosting on the Beater album is one of those. I mean, I'm on a desert island. I'd
yeah,
probably bring the first three Posies record with me and I'd be fine. Like, you know,
that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to checking that out. And with Face to Face, I think I had one of their records because I was, I mean, Sound the Alarm by Saves the Day like was a life changing record for me. And I remember that was, I think actually, did Pete Parada join? He might have joined Saves the Day for In Reverie, but I know he definitely
yeah,
drummed on Sound the Alarm. And then I started like getting into all the band members' other projects like Face to Face, and like Manny was like Glassjaw, and like I think he was even playing bass in Thursday. Um, yeah, but that's my familiarity with Face to Face. I think I had one of their records. I don't remember what it was even
yeah.
called.
It's probably their self-titled album, which was their third album. And that was where when Prada came to the band, and that was right when they also had Face to Face had a song on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. So it's like,
Oh wow.
and here's a quick funny story about that I've told before on this show. But so I was such a big Face to Face fan from their first two records, Don't Turn Away and Big Choice. There, it was like those like are my pivotal punk rock albums. Like they fucking changed my life. And so I'm in the military. I just get back from deployment. I'm driving to the nearest Best Buy, and this is back in the 90s. Best Buy was prevalent down south where I was stationed because Face to Face came out with a new album. I run over there, I get it, I put it in my CD player in my truck. After 6 songs, I took it out. I threw it out on I-95 on my way back to base because it was so different and I didn't like it.
Oh man, that's
I've learned
dedication.
to love it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned to love it over the years, but I mean, that was what the fuck is this? And then like I see the movie Mortal Kombat and I'm like, that's a face to face. What the fuck? Like it was, I think that was
Wow.
the punk rock you sold out moment for me. Like, fuck that. But listen, I've learned to love everything. Once I grew up and out of my, adolescence of being like, fuck that. No one's allowed to change and
Yeah.
enjoying the change. So
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of bands in that era had those moments. They would have like that big like commercial success, and then usually for me, the next album after that would be my favorite one, and it would be the one that would flop. But I'd be like, oh man, this they were onto something with this one. Like thinking about like, I mean, Pinkerton's definitely regarded as a classic now, but like that one, uh, in Reverie after Stay What You Are. Um,
yeah, I
what's the
mean,
other big one?
Pinkerton for me, I remember hearing Pinkerton in high school when it came out, and I was floored because I mean the Blue album was like had come out, and then Pinkerton came out very quickly after that, and I remember just the first opening track, just
Oh my God.
the drum sound. It's just like fucking hey, this is unbelievable. Like it's such an emo album, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's so good.
All right. So the bands that we've just talked about, there has to be something in your life. Now we'll get to a guilty pleasure thing where it's, I understand we're at the age where there's no such thing as guilty pleasures. It's just pleasures, but it's something that someone would be really surprised after all the bands we just named would be really surprised to hear that you love listening.
Huh. Well, I would say, let me think about this. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're spot on with it. It's like it's just a pleasure. Um, mm, I guess. I mean, like the other, as odd as this might be, like the other band that I really liked, or I don't know if you call them a band, I guess a group, Boys to Men. Uh, that was the other. I don't know. Like I must have really been a sucker for harmonies between Beach Boys and Boys to Men. But yeah, I still throw in like that like 90s R&B. Definitely not a guilty pleasure though. I feel like I'm. It's more of like this is great and everyone knows it.
Yeah.
um, I'm trying to think though. There's got to be something embarrassing that I listen to that people wouldn't expect. I don't know. I feel like I listen to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I got caught the other day in my record store. I was blasting Jamiroquai, and and my wife walks in because we were having Brian Vandark of the Verve Pipe was there to perform, and
Oh, nice.
I'm blasting Jamiroquai. My wife walks in. She's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then my friend walks in. And is like, "Fucking Jamiroquai, dude." I'm like, "Yes, fucking yes." And
Oh
yes, I
man,
do own it on vinyl. Yes, I'm blasting Jamiroquai. Relax, it's awesome.
those are yeah, those are like the best records where it's like you get so much enjoyment out of it, and like man, you just want someone else to enjoy it too. And if they don't, it's almost enjoyable. Oh, it's almost more enjoyable if they don't like it. Like one of those kind of things.
Yeah. Uh, all right. So I'm going to have one more question before we go into our final segment. And this is going to be another hard one. Um,
Okay.
but the world's going to end in 5 minutes. Meteors crashing, barreling into the earth. And we learned from NASA we only have 5 minutes to live. You have to listen to one song and one song only. What song are you listening to?
Oh man, I need to think. And you can go up to 5 minutes. Oh man, I think what I would I think what I would have to do. Oof, man, this is a tough one. Um, I think what I would have to do is start only in dreams at the second verse, and then I think
All
that would be
right. Yeah. So it'll
roughly
take
5 minutes.
Yeah, so it'd take you a little bit to get there, scrolling and scooting over. But all right, nice,
Yeah, that build
good
up is
answer.
just
Good.
oh my god, that would be wild. That'd be a wild way to go. It's funny when I got married, I tried to convince my wife to let us have that as our wedding song. She was like, "No, you can play that song, and you and
Yeah,
Ryan can dance to it. Like you're like that was my best man back then. It was our favorite song, basically." So she didn't go for
that's yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine that she didn't go for it, but I get
I was like, it'd be so good. Like everyone would be so pumped for us. It's like, no.
it. What was your wedding song, if you don't mind
We
me?
went with passenger side, Death Cab.
Nice. That's that's cool. Just as cool.
Yeah, yeah, that felt nice.
Nice. So we are in our final segment of the show, but prior to getting to that portion, I'd love right now to give you the opportunity to tell all of our listeners how it is to find everything Night Windows and keep up with what you're doing and all the things you got coming up in life.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Guess the easiest way is um, our website, nightwindows.com. Um, that has links to everything as far as streaming platforms and online store, um, social media, all that stuff. I'd say or I'm most active on Instagram. So, and I also have like a link tree there where you can find anything and everything that has to do with our band. And that handle is night underscore windows. Someone beat me to the night windows. So night underscore windows for that one. Um, yeah, and what stuff we have coming up? We just played our last schedule. No, actually, I have a show, but I'm going to play solo um, in like the Delco area. It's like an acoustic kind of solo house show slash fest for I think it's like fall style. Like probably, I'm just imagining there's going to be like warm apple cider with Captain Morgan in it and stuff. I have no clue. I might be getting my hopes up, but yeah, I have that show coming up, and that'll be my first time playing solo this year. Um, and besides that, we're um, working on new stuff. So we have maybe like nine songs right now that we're kind of um, focusing in on. Most of them were written, I'd say, in the last 2 or 3 months. So yeah, right now we're kind of looking at when do we want to do it and how, because like every record we've made so far has been recorded in my house, like whether it's the garage or my office or music room. So I think we'll probably keep that going, and we've been working with Matt Weber from Gradwell House. He mixes all the stuff, and Dave masters it. So it's great to record our stuff here, take our time with it. Um, we usually wind up having like full on band sleepovers with ping pong and lots of beer and pizza usually, because the guys, it's kind of a hike for them to come down. I think Tad drives like over an hour to get here, so I try to give them a place to crash when they come down, and we have a lot of fun. But yeah, I'd say we're gonna try to start recording new stuff and probably just release singles as we go, just to take a little breather after everything it takes to kind of put a full album together. And then yeah, that's what we have coming down the pike or the pipe or whatever word you're supposed to use there. I don't know. Did I miss
That's
anything?
awesome, man. I'm glad to hear
Oh,
that there's new stuff
yeah.
coming out. No, I think you're good. So we are in our final segment. It is our weekly threes. It is your band was mentioned in the weekly threes by a previous guest, which hasn't aired yet, but will by the time this comes out. But so right now you're going to give me three things you're listening to that you would like people to check out. You give three, then I give my three for the week.
Ah, shoot. I gotta look at my Spotify real quick. It feels kind of weird to. Let me see. Okay, I got my first one.
Okay.
My first one would be Fred Thomas. I'm not sure if you are familiar with him or any of his projects, but he was like the brainchild behind Saturday Looks Good to Me. He's in like a million other bands, but his solo stuff has always like really captivated me. And he's got a new record coming out this Friday, um, and that record is Window in the Rhythm. Hold on a second. It like they just announced that it was coming out Tuesday, and it's going to be out within a couple of days. So yeah, the first tune is out. It's called an Embankment. So I've been just pretty much listening to that song on repeat. Like this morning, I listened to that on the whole way to work. It's like an 8 minute track, and it's like it's not like when you hear like oh it's an 8 minute single, it seems like it would be work to listen to it, but it's like it's really good stuff. Um, so Fred Thomas. Um,
Got it.
I feel like it's kind of lame, but I have been listening to the new Bright Eyes album quite a bit. I mean, it's lame to use um, to plug that because they've got enough years on them right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're listening to it, and that's what
I'm
I'm
listening to it, and
Yeah.
I like it. It's different. It's a little more raw and rough around the edges. I mean, but it sounds great. Um, that one's been really good to listen to. Um, let's see. I guess the other one, it's it's hard for me to choose the last one because I really want people to listen to these three guys. There's Max Max Stern, Maxwell Stern. He just put out an awesome solo album in the Good Light.
Yep. I know
I mean,
Maxwell's been a guest before, so yeah.
oh man, he's just a great human being too.
Yeah.
He's great to be around. Um, and then the two bands that we played with the show I mentioned in August, Brian Meets and Graduation Speech. People should be listening to both of those guys. So I accidentally did more than three.
It's okay.
It's really hard. Yeah. really hard for me to decide sometimes.
That's all right. See, I'm structured because I'm the host, so I always keep it to 3. I think I had an honorable mention once, and I edited it out. So, so my 3 for this week. My first one is the new Cursive album, Devour. Cursive is one of those bands that I get excited every time something new comes out, because not only is it usually really good, but that means I'm going to get to go see them live again. And if you ever have an opportunity to see the band Cursive live, do yourself a favor and do not miss them.
That's a good one.
The next band I have is Stereosity. The name of the album is Discography. They're an indie, I want to say, I hate labeling, but so you know what you're getting into. They're like an indie, emo-ish, shoegazy band from the UK, Stereosity. And last but not least is a band called The Low Field. The name of the album is The Low Field, self-titled. They're indie band from Ireland that is making some really awesome stuff right now. So, but those are my 3 bands for this week.
Nice. I've given that Cursive album maybe 3 passes, and I'm definitely liking it. It's nice to hear the cello being like so present again.
Yes, that's what I love. I love hearing that loud tone of the cello on fucking awesome hard songs. It's so great.
Yes, yeah. The other 2, I'm gonna have to take note of. I haven't heard of those 2. It was the Low Field and Stereosity.
Yeah, Stereosity.
Okay, nice.
But Ben, I want to, first and foremost, I said it earlier, but thank you so much for being here. Also, thank you so much for creating the music that brought us together. Music is, it's a binding factor between humans that people can always connect with. We can be open and have an open, honest conversation surrounded about music. And without what you've created, you and I would never have talked, never have met. So I think it's extremely important and should bring notice to it that not only is it the music you created great music that I like, that made me want to talk to you. So, thank you so much for that.
That's awesome. You're welcome. And yeah, it's great to be here and great to meet you. And yeah, it's nice. It's really nice when the stuff that you're working on connects with people. Yeah, that's like just an added bonus in my mind. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Night Windows, and have a great fucking time.
Trying to convince herself against the feelings felt. None of those dreams aren't real, like the way they seem. So she hoists out a smile through the backache. Set it to a mirror in my house. Oh, and now I can learn left hand, living out her backseat claims, the red wine in her right hand. These walls still look the same way they did, and this was someone else's apartment.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.